I was never that. I was always an anti-bully. That's
Right.
how I made a lot of my friends.
Right.
Or if I didn't, I was always the guy in the group that wanted to make sure that my friends could fight.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't have respect for people that punch down on people. You know, like to punch down on people, bro, knowing how dangerous you are. That's where humility comes in.
Right.
Humility is like saying you know something. Just because you can fucking punch down on somebody doesn't mean you can, especially if you're somebody extremely dangerous.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of what ended up happening to me, and that's what kind of that spiritual stab in my face, in a
Right.
sense, that should have killed me because it left me marked.
Right.
In a sense, it made me wanted to do something I shouldn't have wanted to do. But when that happened, I was able to heal from it. And I was able to not only see through the bullshit, I was able to be like, okay, this was actually a wake up call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This was one of the best things somebody had ever done for me in my life. And this was somebody that was taking care of me for a year while I was living in his house. He was an OG.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't even from around here. He was from someplace else. And he lost his brother and been shot, he'd been stabbed. Like, this guy shouldn't have been alive.
Right.
You know, just one of those survivors. He took me and in my worst moments, he pulled me aside and told me a little bit about myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
He had to criticize me, because if he didn't criticize me, he wouldn't have broke me out of the bad habits. He wouldn't have set me correct.
Right.
He wouldn't have shown me, instead of being an asshole, what you really needed was camaraderie.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of us grow up with no camaraderie because we're too busy fighting with each other,
That's
or too busy using comparison towards one another.
that's
And comparison is one of those things that will destroy you, because that's the thing that will eat you alive. Trying to compare yourself to another person. That's why I wake up and I'm just grateful to be awake. I'm grateful to get those little things in the morning, like a cup of coffee, or being able to DoorDash and make 40, $50, you know,
right. Freedom.
or just having freedom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Freedom.
If my freedom was here, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And just being able to move around like that is a blessing, because I got both my legs.
Right. Your eyes.
I got both my eyes.
The
Got I got my stomach, even though I'm covered in scars. You know what I mean?
right.
And that's the thing I'm the most proud of, bro, is my scars.
Right.
Like, if I showed you my scars, you'd be like everybody else. Like, how'd you survive that shit?
Right.
That's what everybody says.
I agree, bro.
I'm not somebody that wants to be violent, that ever wanted to be violent.
Me neither. I do find that the ability to be violent when needed is
Necessary.
yeah.
It definitely is. And with the situation I'm in, I'm dealing with a fucking manic psychopath
Right.
as an older brother.
Right.
Watching him abuse my elders. Like, I'm at the point where either I gotta fucking get involved and try to put hands on him, but he's fucking dangerous, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he's known for being dangerous. But I'm at the point where I'm just gonna fucking not allow him to affect my life. Not even get a reaction out of him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's what he keeps trying to do. He tries to get that reaction so that he can justify his own actions. So if I don't give him a reaction, right,
Right.
he can't justify his random assault on me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's just me dealing with my brother,
Right.
you know? And my brother's been a trained fucking wrestler, and he loves fighting. He loves chaos. You know what I mean? He's the opposite of peace. And he leaves a mess everywhere he goes. Okay?
He leaves the best.
He leaves a mess everywhere he goes because he steals. You know, he steals, he takes advantage of people, but he's only doing that to his family.
Right.
You know, like, what type of person does that? What type of person steals from their own family?
Right.
Like, you gotta have some type of honor. You don't steal from your own family.
No.
I know people, and my mom had told me this. Like, if you were to go to prison, right, and you didn't treat your parents right, or you didn't treat your family right, and these are people that ain't been around their family in 10 years, 5 years, they ain't gonna like that shit.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But that's because, again, When you don't have those things,
Yeah.
that's what you want.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
To be violent, yeah. Violence is a language everybody understands.
It is that. And there's a lot of intelligence to be had in violence, and there's a lot of skill to be developed being